Listen to me. If there was a wise man who would ever think of this, they would say in order to be superior to the man, you've got to be the man. For I am the man himself.
What is going on? How you doing on this late Friday evening? This is the Club of the Man 1993, and you'll have to excuse me. I had a really brutal day today. We were a lot of people short at work. I am beat. I am exhausted. I was stressed. I was about to pop. I kept saying I was going to come home and pop open a beer. That did not happen, unfortunately. Well, I didn't get to have a beer. I wanted to, but I didn't. But after I watched SmackDown, which I still got a review, but I wanted to at least get this Payback predictions in first, which, FYI, this is the only graphic I got to make. Again, we were shorthanded at work this week, and the past 2 days, I've had a lot more responsibilities on my shoulder at work. So, yeah, before I did this video after SmackDown, took a nice, well-deserved, relaxing bath. I feel refreshed. I feel comfortable again. So I thought I would come up here before I go to bed and at least do this video. Now again, it's not live. I didn't have it prepared to go live. And I do have a few things to do before Payback tomorrow. So I think the best way was just for me just to record it. That way I can upload it whenever I'm able to and put in the information then. So unfortunately, this isn't live. And this is the only graphic I had made for this Payback preview. But I will have the full graphics whenever I do the live review for Payback sometime, hopefully, over the weekend. But this is my preview and predictions for WWE's Payback 2023. And it's going to take place at the PPG Paints Arena right here in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. And for the second pay-per-view in a row, I will be in attendance live. And hopefully this time I will, because I remember when I went to the thing with SmackDown, I did post a lot of stories on my Instagram page and whatnot. I didn't really get to do it for SummerSlam, mostly because my seats were a little bit farther away, so I didn't have the best, readable view to do quality, shots and whatnot. So I plan on trying to do that again during Payback tomorrow. Do not want to promise anything, but it's what I plan on trying to do. But yeah, I will be going with my good friend, Daniel Gaiza, former YouTuber, and my beautiful wife. We will be going. Sitting a little upper deck, section 207. So hopefully, again, it should be a good time. As far as the show goes, there's only 6 matches. There is one segment with a Grayson Waller effect interview with Cody Rhodes, which we'll briefly address that as well. And it was announced on SmackDown tonight that Mr. John Cena is going to be the host for Payback. Now, there have been rumblings that Cena is going to be around for a few weeks. And there are rumors of a setup for a match with him and Cody Rhodes, I'm starting to hear. Which would be a good match, honestly. I'd like to see. Is it going to be a Fastlane? I'm thinking maybe Fastlane or maybe Crown Jewel. Because doesn't Cena have a match next Friday in that India special when he tag teams with Seth Rollins, and I can't remember who he's taking on now. So I'm wondering if maybe that's what the plan is. And maybe this episode of Payback could be, a setup for that, with John Cena as the host. And of course, I did add him in the graphic, as you see right here. But yeah, the card looks pretty solid. There's a couple matches, though, that are like, they are what they are, but let me see here. Like, meh, yeah, sure, yes, we'll see. Definitely. Yeah, I mean, most of the matches I am intrigued by. Some of them, two of them, I'm like, meh, not going to do much for me, but we will talk about it. And I am glad and excited to see, which it should be the case, that we should be seeing the main event of the show for the first time since its return be the World Heavyweight Champion. So I'm glad to see that belt, the consolation prize, secondary world title, get a shot to main event the show, which definitely is well deserving. Also, this is the first pay-per-view event to take place in Pittsburgh since Extreme Rules 2018. The last time it took place here, the main event was for the Intercontinental Championship in an Iron Man match between Dolph Ziggler and Seth Rollins. And of course, we hijacked it with that stupid countdown stuff, and I honest to God thought they would never bring back a pay-per-view again to Pittsburgh. But they did. So, let's talk about Pittsburgh's WWE Payback, hosted by Mr. John Cena. But anyways, so again, despite the fact that I do not have any graphics made, I'm still going to go in the match order that I normally would, that I predict the matches would happen. The first match I'm going to think is going to happen is the tag title match, with Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens taking on the Judgment Day's Finn Balor and Damian Priest in a Pittsburgh Steel City street fight. Now, the stipulation makes this match a little bit more intriguing. The problem, though, is, and I've been saying this for a few weeks, ever since SummerSlam, I've been saying I just don't care about this Judgment Day storyline anymore. I really don't. Again, I keep saying there's just so many problems. There's so many losing moments. There was certain times where they should have capitalized on them, but they didn't. Like, for example, Finn Balor should have won the feud with Edge. Because as I keep saying, the whole purpose of Edge feuding with the Judgment Day was to end what he started. He won the feud. Even him and Beth beat Finn and Rhea in a tag title match earlier this year at Elimination Chamber. Not tag title, a mixed tag team match. So why are they still a thing? Why are they still a thing? And then Finn Balor's lost all of his opportunities for the world title. Damian Priest, built solidly as Mr. Money in the Bank as a single star, but teaming up again with Finn Balor, like, it's the same thing every single week with, they try to use the briefcase, it doesn't work. And they just bicker, and it's just like, when are you just gonna turn? You know, like, when is it just gonna happen? And it's just, and then, I like the idea of trying to get JD McDonough involved. But with Finn Balor's help, JD McDonough still lost. So why would you want to imply that JD McDonough is supposed to be a strength game and supposed to be someone who, like, is a piece to hold the Judgment Day together, you know? So I like the stipulation. I like the guys in the match. It's just the Judgment Day stuff, again, has just run its course for me. I want them just to move on, get to the point, get somewhere different with this Finn Balor and Damian Priest drama. But despite all that, now here's my thing. I do think sometime soon the Street Profits are going to get the tag titles. They teased something with Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, and the Street Profits on SmackDown tonight. But my thing, though, is also, first off, Sami and Kevin are very banged up. I do think they need a little bit of a rest. And also, if the Judgment Day lose again, why are you still going to be promoting them as like a prominent piece of Raw as you're trying to make us believe? So, in my honest opinion, I think Finn Balor and Damian Priest need to win this match to salvage something that could keep this somewhat credible. Because they got to get something on both of them. I mean, okay, Damian has Money in the Bank. Finn's got to get something. And also, too, how are they even getting this opportunity if they've already wrestled Sami and Kevin how many times and they've lost? I mean, on paper, it's going to be a good match. But, so that's why I somewhat am not as excited about this match as I'm sure some of you guys may be. But it's going to be a good quality match. It's a street fight involving 4 guys that I idolize. So, we'll see how it goes. But I'm predicting Judgment Day to take the tag titles. And spoiler alert, that's the only final prediction I am making for a title change on this show. Even though there's one that I so badly want them to pull the trigger on. But I just got this slight gut feeling in me they're not going to do it. We'll talk about that later in the main event. That's the first match. The second match is another match that I'm like meh about. Rhea Ripley versus Raquel Rodriguez. This is whatever. This is what it is. Rhea's going to win. I don't see her dropping that belt. Like I keep saying, you could build her up to have her keep the women's world title. Of course, give her some more credible feuds. Like we still could do a feud with Becky Lynch and Rhea Ripley, even though I mentioned in my Raw review the other night that I think there's rumors of Becky Lynch going to NXT. And I feel like what happened on Raw with Tiffany Stratton being in attendance, I feel like that was somewhat of a tease for that. But of course, we'll talk about that momentarily. But yeah, this is a match that I'm probably the least excited. Again, like I said, I know I kind of like crapped a little bit on the tag title match, but that should be good. This will be, it is what it is. But Rhea will retain, I believe. Who she'll fight after that, I have no idea because they still literally have nobody built up to challenge Rhea Ripley on Raw. And that's a shame because she could be an excellent champion. She just has nothing to work with right now. So, there's that match. Following that, one of the matches I'm the most excited about is The Miz versus L.A. Knight. Yeah! That's right. Yeah! I've enjoyed this feud, the build from top to bottom. Again, LA Knight is white freaking hot right now. They did the right thing, even though it was the dumb way around it to like kind of fix their mistake, not putting LA Knight in the US title match at SummerSlam. They had him win that Battle Royale, gave him a few moments in there to make him really shine. Especially, of course, seeing him eliminate guys like The Miz. He eliminated Bronson Reed, Sheamus. I feel like there's one other one in there. But he had so many moments in that Battle Royale, and they did that very right. Like I said, watching that Battle Royale, it reminded me of when Cesaro won the first ever Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royale. It's definitely one of my favorite Battle Royales. And of course, we just all popped when LA Knight won the match. And of course, I might have said this before, LA Knight actually did share that video on his Instagram story. So, yeah, I think, again, both these guys are very similar. They bring out the best in each other. Yes, they're solid in the ring, but what really makes where they really shine is both on the microphone. And even this feud also has even brought out like the best of the Miz in quite a while. The Miz we have in this feud, I've missed. It makes me feel like we're getting like 2016, 2018 Miz. Because again, when he's cutting those promos that has truth to them, I got my eyes sealed on the television. And LA Knight as well too. His, let me talk to you. It just fires you up. And that's when you know he's in his element. He is good. LA Knight wins this. I think it will be a great match. It might be more like a character-driven match or whatnot, but it will be a great match. I am looking forward to it. Again, it could be one of the better matches of the show, I think, in my opinion. Trust me. If Miz and Logan Paul can steal the show, I think there is a good chance that LA Knight and The Miz can do the same. So we had that match. Then following that, we have a United States Championship rematch between Rey Mysterio and Austin Theory. Match should be okay. But I think the story here is, especially how it was built on this week's episode of SmackDown, I think what's going to happen, because originally I was going to predict it was going to happen during the match. I thought they would have Rey lose the title because Santos Escobar turns on Rey and costs him the title. I don't think, though, giving Austin Theory the U.S. title back, though, is the best idea. Again, he needs to kind of like start back over from the beginning, Austin. Because, I'm sorry, again, you had me going Raw is Theory last fall. Well, as I'm sure myself and many of you have been saying, he's really fallen off ever since he beat John Cena. Because I keep saying it again, John Cena put him in his place with that promo he cut earlier this year. And in theory, in my opinion, the way he won at WrestleMania proved that John Cena was right. So it's really put him in like a tough spot. And I just don't think he's ever recovered, unfortunately. So I don't think the best thing for Theory is him getting the U.S. title back. I feel like that is the worst case scenario. I think Rey will retain the U.S. title, but Santos Escobar will turn on him after the match and set up for a U.S. title match with Rey Mysterio and Santos Escobar. Which, oh my, I mean, yeah, I know their match they had on SmackDown for the number one contendership didn't go over well. Partially because Rey also got hurt in it. But I honestly think give these two a match, which while Triple H is still fully in control, even though again Vince will probably be back sooner rather than later. I really do think that eventually the idea is for Rey Mysterio to put over Santos Escobar and put the U.S. title on Santos, which not opposed to at all. That would be great. But yeah, I think Rey will retain the U.S. title, move Austin Theory on to something else, and Escobar turns on Rey after the match. So we have that. We then have Becky Lynch and Trish Stratus inside of a steel cage. Let me talk to you. I am looking forward for this feud to be over. I'm sorry, again, in ring, Becky and Trish are great. But the build, the promos, again, the premise I get. I've been saying that since the beginning of this feud. I get the premise. But the promos. I mean, since Triple H has had more control on the script, they've been better. I'll give them that. They have been better. And even the promo with their contract signed before their match at Night of Champions, I thought was good also. And also, this match should have taken place at SummerSlam instead of Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler. Now, of course, Shayna Baszler mentioned a few weeks ago on Raw that she'll be waiting for Becky once Becky's done with Trish. Even though I still think they're teasing Becky Lynch and Tiffany Stratton. And Becky Lynch will probably... I think, again, there's rumors of Becky Lynch going to NXT for a little bit. Give her something to do, fine. Because the story here is Tiffany Stratton believes there's really no other competition for her in NXT. And she was scouting out people on Raw. So that's why I think... And they were kind of like heavily advertising her right before the Falls Count Anywhere match with Becky Lynch and Zoe Stark this past week. So that's why I think the plan is they're going to have Becky go after Tiffany. And she'll probably briefly win the title. Because again, also, she's the only one of the 4 horsewomen who has not won the NXT Women's Championship. Although, again, revisiting a few with her and Shayna, I would not be opposed to that at all. But, yeah, this match will be good. They'll probably fully break up Trish and Zoe. They tease an ascension, and I just don't see Trish really sticking around after this. I don't know what else he'll do with her. I mean, again, like, I was cool with bringing them back for a few with Becky, even though, again, the promos were god-awful. Again, maybe because they were micromanaged, or maybe Trish, again, is just not meant to be a heel. I do think we may see Lita return. We have not seen Lita on TV since Trish secretly beat her down before the tag title match where Trish did turn on Becky. So it's possible to see there, because I'm sure Zoe will be outside, unless, again, they do have some dissension. They tease some whenever Trish accidentally hit Zoe with a chair, and Zoe accidentally punched Trish on Raw this past week in the Falls Count Anywhere match. But it will be good. Becky wins this. This ends the feud. It's time to move on to something else. Like I said, we could see Lita come out there to help even the numbers and help out Becky get her revenge on Trish from months ago. I mean, they could have Trish win thanks to distraction from Tiffany Stratton. But again, why would Becky then want to challenge, be able to get a title shot if she loses? Although you could say she doesn't have to win matches to get title shots, even though I kind of hate that rule and whatnot. But yeah, Becky wins this. Then I think we'll probably get a cool down with the Cody Rhodes on the Grayson Waller effect. I'm going to predict that this is either going to set up, I don't expect much of this. It's probably going to set up either a match for Cody Rhodes eventually against John Cena, maybe a Fastlane or a Crown Jewel. I'm still thinking maybe more likely Crown Jewel, because that's the bigger money show. Or this could be where he first declares he's going to be going after Roman Reigns. And I think maybe we could get a brief impromptu match where Cody squashes Grayson maybe, and we move on from there. But I don't expect much, but you never know. And then we got the main event. This World Heavyweight Championship match between Seth Rollins and Shinsuke Nakamura. This has been really, really great build. And I love the heel character development they've gotten with Shinsuke Nakamura. This idea that he is playing deeper into the mind games, as he is definitely an artist with playing mind games. Bringing Seth Rollins' real-life back injury, which again, he has 4 broken, 4 fractures in his lumbar spine, whatever it's called. And he's been wrestling hurt like that for 4 freaking years. Insane. Also, credit where credit is due. Remember when Seth Rollins was the guy in 2019, and he was, but he did. I feel he didn't handle himself well as the guy saying crap on Twitter that was just making him look ridiculous. Well, he apparently, while he was on the bell, after the bell, he basically did praise the entire wrestling industry. And when I saw that, I'm like, that is what Seth Rollins should be doing as a top guy, which I thought was great. So I had to throw that out there. But they've done some really great character work. And this idea, again, that Shinsuke knows Seth's weakness makes him look like a legitimate threat to Seth's world title. Like, if Vince would have wrote this story, you would not have had me believing once that Shinsuke could beat Seth. But here's where I get in my dilemma. I'm going to go with the safe bet and think Seth Rollins retains. But there's that side of me that wants Shinsuke to win. Is there that side with you? Because we've waited to see this guy get his megastar moment. I mean, okay, yes, he won a Royal Rumble. But even then, he didn't feel like a legitimate main eventer. This build is making him look like something special again. And the rumors are that Seth Rollins may be taking some time off to get his back fixed. Which I think he should. It's insane that he's wrestled with it for this long. I say he gets it fixed. But, again, has this momentum Shinsuke built up really been enough to make him be a believable world champion? Under Triple H, yes. But Vince is going to be back soon. Vince is obviously not very high on Shinsuke. And because anytime that you could give Shinsuke a mid-card title, he's barely been on TV. He's on TV more without a title than he is with a title. And I keep saying this too. Why is Triple H still writing these stories when he knows most of these guys are going to basically get their legs cut off once Vince comes back? And when he does come back, as the sale is about to close, he's going to have even more power. He's going to have all the power he's wanted again. Because he bullied his way back into the company. But if it was up to me, I would still say put the belt on Shinsuke. Even though if they put the belt on Shinsuke, it's also me saying, well, why couldn't they just put the belt on Finn Balor and solve the whole Judgment Day problem at SummerSlam? I think they really should put the belt on Shinsuke here. But I don't think it's going to happen. So Seth Rollins will probably retain the World Heavyweight title, but it's going to be a hell of a match. And it's had really great build. This idea that Nakamura does target the back of Seth. He hits it, Seth's doomed, Nakamura wins. That's what I'm thinking the story should be told. But again, it may not. I'm still going to stick with the same bet and go with Seth. And that, guys, that is my preview and predictions for WWE's Payback 2023. Again, I will be there live in attendance tomorrow night at PPG. Should be a solid show. I'm not going to put my hopes as high as I did for SummerSlam, but I don't want to set them super duper low either. I expect a little bit from this show. Should be a solid, fun, relaxing show to go watch. So guys, what are your predictions for Payback 2023? Is there that slight part of you that wants Shinsuke to win the world title? Or do you think that, what John Cena is going to do? What do you think Cody Rhodes is going to do with the Grayson Waller effect? Could we see Santos Escobar turn on Rey Mysterio? And of course, will LA Knight and The Miz steal the show? Make sure you guys leave your thoughts down in the comment section below. And be sure as always to slap a like on the video. And subscribe for more content on my channel. Follow me on Twitter at TheClubWithTheMan93. You can also follow me on TikTok and Instagram at TheClubWithTheMan1993. And until then, guys, I'm checking out. I'll catch you guys all later. And do not forget, in order to be superior, to the man, you've got to be the man. And for I am the man himself, and that, and not just an opinion, that is a fact of life. Yeah!